And welcome back to Hannity. As we have been playing for you from the start of the show, on the bottom of the screen, President Obama's never-ending speech from earlier today. It's still going on, but one of the most absurd moments in his long-winded address came when he called the scandal swirling around his administration phony. Oh, really? Let's watch.
With this endless parade of distractions and political posturing and phony scandals, Washington's taken its eye off the ball. And I'm here to say this needs to stop. This needs to stop.
So I wonder how the members of the victims and the families feel about the Benghazi terror attack. Do they feel good about calling that scandal phony? Here to react to that much more is Kentucky Senator Rand Paul. So spying on Tea Party members and targeting them with the IRS, spying on Americans and Benghazi, it's all phony. It's all a distraction, Senator. You agree with that?
Well, you know, first it was just a few rogue employees in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Now it turns out it's a political appointee of his who may be involved in this. No, I think targeting people for political opposition or for religious reasons is reprehensible, and I think it rises to a really serious crime. And I think it has to be researched and investigated from top to bottom. And if this is true, someone should go to jail over it.
Yeah. Well, do you think that we're getting to the bottom of these scandals enough?
I think the IRS is going to take a complete overhaul, that we're going to have any kind of confidence that we're not being targeted. You know, my staff has pointed out to me that over $1 million goes from the IRS Employees Union to Democrats in the last 2 election cycles. That doesn't sound to me like a very objective agency. The other thing I find out is that the IRS agents, over 200 of them, do union work while on the job, while being paid for by the taxpayer. In fact, 40 of them make over $100,000 a year, but do union work 6 months of the year while we're paying for it. There's a lot that needs to be investigated at the IRS.
Well, and they've been obfuscating. Now, you recently were quoted as saying about Detroit, no bailout for Detroit. You said, I think you said, over my dead body.
Well, you know, we don't have any money at the federal government level to send them. You know, if we were in a big surplus, maybe we could have a discussion. We're $1 trillion short, so we don't have any money to send them. But I have said that the silver lining for Detroit and for Michigan is that you can come about through bankruptcy, maybe recovery. Individuals through bankruptcy get a second chance. So bankruptcy gives you a second chance to write contracts where government officials will be paid maybe the same as private officials, private employees, and not twice as much, where their pensions will be equivalent to private employees, and where their health benefits will be equivalent, not twice as good as the private sector. Then maybe they have a chance to recover.
You know, Senator Mike Lee was on the program last night, and I think he's got a pretty interesting point, and that is that this is the moment, the final moment we really have to stop Obamacare. Have you signed on to his plan that you will not fund Obamacare?
Absolutely. I think that funding Obamacare is a huge mistake. I think what's going to come out of Obamacare is worse than anybody can imagine. I think it will lead to bankruptcy in the states that are fully embracing it. I think it will lead to less people having an insurance as they find out the insurance is so much more expensive than their current plan. Not only will they not have to be able to choose the same doctor they had, they may not be able to afford the insurance. The other thing that's going to happen is maybe your employer says, for me to negotiate contracts, it's cheaper for me to pay the penalty, which the penalty is pretty cheap compared to insurance. A lot of people who have insurance currently may lose their insurance. So I think it's a disaster. Even its authors are saying it may not work. So I think we should delay the whole thing. I'm for a permanent delay of the whole thing.
Do you think it's possible? Do you think the House will go along with this? Are you dealing with the House members? They have the votes to do it. They have the power of the purse.
You know, the House has voted several times to repeal Obamacare. We've voted in the Senate, but we can't win. The thing is that Democrats are going to have to own up that this is their baby. Why are they delaying it beyond the 2014 elections? Because they're afraid people are going to be scared to death and alarmed at the price of their insurance and at what it's doing to state budgets. So I think they're delaying it for political purposes, but I really think that it needs to be delayed for everyone, not just for a few select individuals.
See, what I like about Mike Lee's plan, though, is he's going to fund the entire rest of the government, except for Obamacare. You'll pass those appropriations, and then it's up to the Democrats. If they want to shut down the government over Obamacare, I guess they can. But that's their choice, right? Do you think the Republicans have the courage to do that?
Frankly, probably not. I do, and I will stand with Mike Lee saying that Obamacare shouldn't be funded and that we should force the Democrats in the Senate and the president to come forward and tell us why it's such a great plan. Because why are they delaying it? Why are they giving special waivers to their friends? Why have some corporations gotten waivers and other corporations not? Why are some businesses going to get exemptions and then some individuals not? I think they really need, if they're going to cherry pick and select out for some, they need to re-explain this to the American people.
All right, the Center for American Progress heard from Senator Menendez. He says all he wants is the House to pass a bill, and that the Senate immigration bill will win the day, and that means amnesty for 11+ million people. Is that a strategy that they have adopted, do you think? Because I feel he may be revealing something here.
You know, I'm concerned about what could happen in conference committee. I am for immigration reform, though, and I think if the Speaker of the House holds true and says we're going to have a Republican bill come out of the House and that's all we're going to vote on and we're going to use our leverage to get good immigration reform, I'm hoping it can be something I can support. But I am very concerned about an open-ended process in a conference committee. So we'll see where it goes. But if we have strong leadership in the House, we should be able to ensure that no bad immigration bill gets passed.
All right. Good to see you, Senator. Appreciate you being with us. Coming up next,
thank you, Sean.
We continue, as you can see, to